back again. So why should you believe that we have anything here different than what you've seen? What credibility do we have? You don't have any PhDs in the room.
No, but I do have a master's degree, and for 20 years I've helped couples. I'm a marriage and family therapist, and I've helped couples make these connections over the last 20 years. And I've also worked with extremely traumatized clients and helped them learn how to take this information inside themselves
Well, and that's the interesting thing. That's where this evolved.
Right.
Working with multiple personalities, because they provide a really interesting laboratory that you can't get anywhere else, because these different personalities don't shift modes. They're pretty much in one corner of that cycle. That's where they are all the time until you get them to integrate and move
and they start working together and having these ways of connecting with each other that work.
So that was a unique opportunity that somebody who did not work with multiple personalities
would not have ever seen.
Yeah. And your results with multiple personalities are way beyond anything that I've seen anyone else do in terms of...
They're back to work and they're married. And
people who've been on disability for decades
right.
start having lives again. They start being able to relate to people. And then when you started bringing some of this up
with couples, it just blew my mind, because what I discovered is that just making this awareness, making these shifts in awareness is how you see yourselves and each other. It can transform the relationship in really important ways, and I've seen it happen again and again and again in my practice. And so that's how why I'm here to share this on a bigger scale, because I realized I could help people one at a time, but I wanted to be able to help people on a larger scale, to be able to take it out and let more people have access to this information, because you don't need to go to therapy for years to be able to do this. This is something that you can learn and integrate right now.
Yeah, we're born to do this. This is how we're supposed to be. And another difference is that, I mean, I've seen a number of therapists over the years, and frankly, I don't think any of them walk the walk. This has evolved not just in their practice, but between us, and it's worked for 10 years in a marriage that people didn't think would last 6 months.
Well, I've been married twice before, and Mike had been married 20 years before, and neither of us had had any real experience with what intimacy really was.
No.
And fortunately for us, I discovered this model right before we met. I was using it with my clients, and it was with our marriage where the real crucible began to develop.
How do you do it as a couple?
How do you do it as a couple? And in that process, of course, then I started sharing it with my clients who were couples, and it was proven out in our relationship. It was proven out in the relationships of the couples I was working with, and it's evolved to be this place where we have a very solid connection. It doesn't mean we don't have rough spots, but in those rough spots we're able to reconnect.
And that's the thing, is that when you walk this walk, you expect to get off the path. You expect to stub your toe. That's part of it. It's not some rigid box you have to fit into. So it evolves with you, and it adapts with you. And it's not the 10 rules that you have to do everything by, because there aren't any rules here except for trying to be yourself, which is sometimes a challenge. And I'll go a little further on this, talking about I was married for 20 years. And by most people's standards, I had a really good sex life in that 20 years. At the time, I thought so too. I was wrong. This is where it's at.
And the difference is?
How playful it is. How
passionate it is.
How passionate it is. And how primal it is, really. Because when we talk so much about trying to control that primal brain so you can hit the putt like Tiger Woods that can get your relationship to work. Once you get in the bedroom, you want to get back to the primal stuff, the stuff that you didn't even know was in you that you want to express, and that's the only place you can do it, unless you're a rock star, I guess, on stage.
So we want you to have that kind of fun too.